Hello, welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry. This is Blue. This is also Monday Quilt Chat. Thank you for coming by today. We're going to have a little chat about all the quilty things in my quilt world and in the quilt world in general. Few things to chat about today. We always love to sit and chat about our hobbies and things we're working on and things we're thinking about and plans for the future, things like that. It's just so much fun. So I'm always happy to share what's going on in my quilt brain with you, and then you can kind of think about what you might want to do as well. Sew along with me on something, or maybe get another idea altogether different. Love it all. I also have a Facebook group. I don't know if you're familiar or not, if you're new. It's the same name, Lessons Learned. You can go over there. It's public. You can post pictures of your projects. You can ask questions, talk about whatever is going on quilt related in your world. Sometimes there's some other little things on there once in a while, but it's mostly limited to quilt themed things. So please go check that out if you're on Facebook. Also, like usual, Blue's here with me. He's a little clingy today, as usual. Usually, this is Sunday for me. It's the 30th, I believe, of November. So for you, it's December the 1st. And so we're starting a new month out. But we're usually gone most of the day on Sunday, and I come home and he just wants all the attention. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. He just loves all the attention, don't you? Give me a kiss. Kiss. Give me a kiss. Yeah. So, will you be able to sit in your beanbag chair while I talk about all the quilty things? Let's see if he will. There you go. Get it all warmed up. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Lay down. Lay down. There you go. Oh, he's so obedient. He's so obedient, aren't you, Blue? He's a good boy. Are you a good boy, Blue? Are you a good boy? You are a good boy. We'll see if he stays a good boy. I'm going to move this up just a little bit now. So, I usually talk about what I did over the weekend. If you watched Finish It Friday, you got an idea of what happened last week. So, where did I go from there? Blockheads 6. Blockheads 6 is over with. I did not show you my 2 blocks that I got done last week for that I was a little bit behind on. I don't believe I showed you them. Now I have them all on the wall, and I don't know which one's which, and I'm not going to go back and look. So I'm just going to put a picture up here of all my blocks. So that's all that I have. I have 2 extra that are repeats, because remember in the beginning they said make 2 of everything, and then I decided that's for the birds. I'm making 1 of everything, and I'll make something out of them. So along those lines, then I have something else to show you over here, which is something that I had marked to put on EQ8 for me. I just kind of sketched it out, and he put it on there and figured out all the measurements for the coping strips, and you know how I'm going to arrange them into a quilt. If you look over here, they're just on the board in no certain order, but over here on this pattern, that's how I'm going to put them together. So if you see those little tiny squares there, I forget which color those are in, but they look like they might be 2 or 3 inches. I think they're 2.5 inches finished. I'm just going to use some of the small scraps of the Tilda Sanctuary that I used in the blocks, just to kind of bring it all together. And I'm also going to have to come up with some coping strips on some of the blocks, and either I will be using Tilda Sanctuary if I have some for coping strips. I don't know that I do. I do have the solid tildes. I have the chambrays. So I may be framing out some of my blocks there, especially the 4 outer blocks, and then the inner big block. That's going to have to be stripped out with something to make it all come out mathematically. So this particular pattern is not written as a pattern, but if you want this, give me an email. The email is in the description box. Just send me an email and say I want the Blockhead 6 finishing. It's only going to give you the page that you see here with the measurement of the stripping between the blocks and the little squares. So you'll have to, you know, construct it yourself. It's very, you know, you don't really need a whole lot of instructions on how to do that. You know, if you're a brand new quilter, it might be kind of hard to follow, but it's just the measurements of the strips to put it all together. So if you can measure strips and cut them, just put them together like that picture. So yeah, you'll have to, I'm not going to put it in the description box. I'm just going to give it to those who really want it, because it's not a complete pattern. It's just kind of like a note page to know how to do it. So that's about done with there. So that's out of the way. I also did a long arm project over the weekend. I think I did this on Friday, did I not? I don't know if I showed it. I think I may have put out a Facebook reel or something on Friday, but I don't think I had it for the Friday show. But this, I'll put a picture here. This is called Summer Getaway, and it's made from Fig Tree and Company's Denim and Daisies fabric. And then over here I'll give you some pictures of it, the backing, and also the little bit closer up of the quilting. Now I'm going to have to try to think, what is the name of the quilt pattern that I used on it? I'm drawing a total blank at the moment. It doesn't take long for me to just totally erase something from my brain. It might come to me before the end of this video, but I kind of doubt it. So if you need to know real bad what that is, just send me an email. Also, the backing, I did match that. I pattern matched it, and can't see where my little pattern match is. And it did turn out to be a vertical one, and didn't give me any problems whatsoever. And I used cream. Did I use cream thread? I do believe I used cream thread on that one. I had used for the solid portions the Riley Blake Confetti Solid in the color Putty, because that kind of resembles the old-fashioned muslin. It doesn't have the specks in it, but that just that vanilla, rich vanilla color. I don't know why it's called Putty, but it's just that rich vanilla color that you get, that you see in the old muslin colors. Yeah, and then I also bound it, and I bound it with the same thing as the backing is. So all of that was done in Fig Tree and Company Denim and Daisies. Daisies and Denim? Denim and Daisies, I think it's called. Joanna Figueroa is the designer. So I got that done. And then also, I'm looking at my little diary of what I do every day. I did some scrap processing from in the house. There were some more scraps there that I worked on, as well as some up here. Scraps just keep coming. You never get done with scrap processing. It's like dishes and laundry. You never get through with that. So you have to do some every week. You just have to. That's my friendly advice to all of you. Do scrap processing every week, albeit a little bit or a whole bunch. Also, Splendid. Splendid, I have started sewing. I have these pieces done. The corner pieces right here. I'll give you a look. So I have these. So you can see where those go. And then I also did some pieces that were like this. I needed 10 that were like this, and 10 that were opposite that. But look what I did. I did 10 more the same way. So I'm going to have to redo 10 of these. And then I also did some others too, didn't I? Where are they? Oh, they're over there under my clappers. I think what they are is the flying geese looking thing that's in each of the blocks. They're like here and here, here, and here. I think that's what that is. Anyway, this is coming along pretty fast. You know, when you got a big piece like this in each corner, that shrinks it down to basically I have 5 blocks to make and that little bit of sashing. So I think this is going to go quickly. Now what will I do when that one's done? I've had this laying over here since last month's so sampler box. I think this was last month. I have this pie safe I want to do. It's a table runner out of Melissa Gilbert's fabric. What is it called? Something on the prairie. I dropped the tag. It's called Evening on the Prairie. So I kind of want to, that's what it would actually look like, because that's the same fabric. So I'm going to make this up after Splendid. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm cutting this out by the end of the week. We'll see. So that's a preview on that. If you have that and you want to sew it along with me, then feel free and share your progress in the comments on that. I love hearing from all of you. I know some of you are doing the Splendid, and that's fun to watch, to see what you're doing on yours too, how you're getting along with that. Yeah, I think that's it. I did organize myself for a big project that I'm going to start next year. I'm trying a little bit of a different organization system to organize a project. I'll talk about that later. I'm not quite ready to, you know, decide how much of that I want to put out there. There will be something about it. It's basically a personal project that I want to do. I may not be sharing a whole lot, and definitely not any tutorials or patterns or anything like that. And of course, very soon we'll be having a video on things for next year, and you'll hear all about all the different things that I have planned. Plans, negotiable plans, or what would you call that? Tentative plans. That's what it is. Alright, so that's what I did this weekend. Did some house cleaning as well. Got to keep up on that. If you don't, then you wind up having to spend almost your whole Saturday afternoon on it, like I did. Of course, Mark helped me a lot. So together, the two of us, we knocked out a good once-over on the house. Okay. Recent acquisitions, I have one plus the Sew Sampler box. So I'll be showing you that since it's December 1st. There's no reason why I can't show you the Sew Sampler box. But I did acquire this from Fat Quarters Shop. And this is called Darling Peony. And this is a half-yard bundle. It's by Robin Pickens for Motive Fabrics. So you've probably seen this. I don't mind showing you each piece. Now, some of you might consider this kind of Valentine-y, but I did not. I just love it because it's called Darling Peonies, and it's all the reds and pinks and creams that I need to do these. Remember this 10-inch paper roses? I showed you this last week or the week before. So I'm not using the green in this. I'm just going to use what I have. These are foundation paper pieced blocks, and they turn out to be 10 inches. There's 42 pages here. I would like to do all of them, which would be like a 6 block by 7 block quilt. I looked high and low, and this is what I decided on for this project. So let's take a look. And I got half yards because with this I have no idea how much I'm going to actually use. I'm either going to be short on a piece or two, or I'm going to have way more left over than I should. So there's a little tic-tac-toe thing. Here is, this has some hearts on it, but it also just has some, I don't know, strawberry, I don't know what these are, gooseberries, something like that. And this is some other kind of cone-like flower. Here is the Dottie Thatched that Robin Pickens has. All of her lines have Dottie Thatched. If you look really close, it's kind of, you can't really tell, but the red is kind of got, has a linen look to it, but it is cotton. These are all different sizes of hearts. And like I say, I don't think this will turn out looking like a Valentine's quilt, but it could be Valentine's fabric if somebody chose to use it that way. There's a little bit lighter version of that first one. I'll show you the difference. And then I absolutely love this one. Love this. It's kind of a line drawing of the peonies. Here's one that says, "Love lives here," and it's a bunch of houses. Here's another one of the line drawn peonies in a lighter. I'll show you what I mean. This is such a pretty line. I think there's 20, does it say how many? I think there's 21 or 22, I forget. Here's another pink one of these. It's a little more pink background than that other one. Here's another line drawing one. It's lighter still. And then here's Love in My Heart and Home. Houses and hearts. Trying to keep these straight. Here's another pink one with the gooseberries and the little hearts and little cone flowers and whatnot. Here's another Dottie Thatched. Now that one you can kind of see the thatching of it. So there's just a multi-sized scattered dot on a thatched background. Here's another pink one of these. This is lighter still. We're getting lighter and lighter. Here's a Dottie Thatched in the cream. Here are the hearts with the cream background. And then here's a cream background with the gooseberries. Here's a heart, Love in My Heart and Home with a cream background. And then here's one with kind of a tan background. Here's another one with a cream background of that print. And then another Dottie Thatched that's kind of an ivory. So I'm not sure what's going to wind up in the green. I'm thinking all of my lights will be in the green. And then I'm going to pick something. Now this is two pieces, two different prints. Here's what happens when you put those together. Let me just show you there's a little bit of a graph in here to show you what what it looks like when they're all together and all the different sizes you can make. So you see that when you put 4 blocks together, is that what I want to say? Yeah, when you put 4 blocks together, you get this little faceted thing there. Kind of looks like another flower. So I want to take one of my prints and use that consistently, well, 2 of them I guess, and use that consistently throughout. And then everything else is going to have to be the lighter shades. Now the flower itself, yes, it's going to be the dark, the reds, the regular reds, and the dark pinks. And then all of my whites and, my lights and creams are going to be here. And then I'll have 2. I'm pretty sure they're using the same. No, they're not. I could actually use 4 different colors. 4 different of the same color but different prints on that. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to make one up and see what I think. And that first one I make is going to take me forever, because I'm going to be really studying these colors and these prints to make sure that's what I really want to do. I'll make one completely up and then I'll start cutting my pieces. I think I can figure out how to cut, what size to cut all my pieces, and then I can just sit and, do them a little faster if I have all my pieces cut. So, a little bit different animal foundation paper piecing. If you've not done it, you just kind of have to think a whole different way. It's not your traditional quilting at all. I mean, I'm sure there's some ancient quilt out there that was paper pieced, but I think it's more of a more recent thing to do paper piecing, other than, regular templates and things like that. Templates are, a very old way of managing to make a quilt, but that's what's going on with this. Again, it's Robin Pickens. I got half-yard pieces, so it was a little chunk of money, but I wanted to get what I wanted to get. I'm not doing the green. It's gonna be these colors, however I can get them to come out. So kind of a little bit more softer version without the green. I was very tempted to do that aqua, but I didn't want to quilt exactly like what's on here. That's just me. That's just me. You know how I am. Okay, so the next thing is the Sew Sampler Box. So let's take a look at it for this month. Yeah, here it is. The Darling Peony half-yard bundle was $132.98, but I got a free Strawberry Garden quilt book by Fig Tree and Company for free. It was a $30 book, and it has about 45-50 pages in it. Okay, so sampler. Let's take a look. Okay, November 2025. It's called Winter Orchard. Okay, another quilt idea is a Jolly Bar Bonbons quilt. I'll show you what they have in here first, and then I'll show you this. Special Sew Sampler savings. There's a promo code for 25% off of 1 or more Jolly Bar books with a $30 purchase. And this is good until December 30th. And they're going to have a Fat Quarter by the Dozen quilt along in 2026. And there's a QR code for details on that. Okay, here is the fabric. It's called Wild Honey. Wild Honey by Lella Boutique by Moda. I'm going to show you this. It's very pretty fabric. Delicate. I'm going to try to get it in a way that I can flip it. Wild honey. Cute prints. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, and it's in a teal color too. And a green. And a honey shade. And then there's a little posy. And another one. And another one. And another one. Seems to have this four colors for everything, doesn't it? This is a honeycomb with little bees on it. Check it out. Those are really cute. And here's a blue one. A green one. A honey colored one. And then this is a word print. And it says stuff like forage. It's like honeybee information is what it is. It's all about honeybees and making honey and all of that. So you have this pink one. And the blue one. And the green one. And the honey colored one. So this is a nice amount. It's 10-inch squares. And it is a full layer cake. Yes, it's a full layer cake. Yes, it is. So nice. And then here is the pattern that they've made for the line. And then here it is on the back. If you want an overall picture of it. It is a 40.5 by 40.5. Not very big, is it? And what else do you need? You need a 1.5 yards of background and border and a 1/2 yard of binding. Not too bad. And then 2 7/8 for backing. No, it is a 24-piece junior layer cake. It's not a full. I saw it say layer cake on here. And it's not a full layer cake. It's a junior layer cake. So it's half. So it's 24 pieces. 24? Is that right? Yes. 24 pieces. Now, if you didn't like that pattern, then they have another pattern here. And this is a free pattern. Anybody can scan that. It doesn't matter. That's in a Sew Sampler box. This is still on their website for everybody. It's another free pattern you can use for that line. It's colored up in it. It's actually a Jolly Bar pattern, but if you cut these in half, you'll have a plenty big amount to do it. That's what it says. Okay, then there's more. There is a complete package of diagonal seam tape. That's that stuff I put on the bed of my sewing machine so that I can sew an accurate 1/4 inch seam for half square triangles especially. And then a pair of Karen K. Buckley scissors. These are the 4 3/16. I don't have those over here. I think I do have a pair of these in the house. Somebody said they take these when they get them in their Sew Sampler box and they put a pair in every one of their project bags. So I might be doing something like that. Okay, so, and then we have our flowering block, which is the block, you know, every month we do a block for this sew along in the Sew Sampler box. This is called I Lilac You. So I'll be making this up. And so let's see what everything cost. The partial layer cake is $27.98. The seam tape is $6.98. The pattern for the layer cake is $9.98. The scissors are $23.48. And then your flowering block is $4.98. So I don't know how much that is total, but it's definitely at least double what I paid for the box, which was $29.98. Is that what it is? I know that my bill is usually $37, so that includes the shipping and the tax. So $37, and it's probably $70+ worth of stuff. So I really like this little sampler box, and I like that they're giving things like this that are a little more pricey and more usable. I like it when they put OFA blades in there too. They're good at putting OFA blades in there, so just about the time you need to replace your blade, you're getting one in your So Sampler box. So, good deal. Winter Orchard. It's a good box. Very good box. Okay, I think that might take us to the art quilt of the week. Let's do that, and then I still have some other things I want to mention. So hang with me here. I'm going to put a picture of the art quilt right here. It's called Imagine, and it's 75 by 75 by Dan Burke of Stanwood, Montana. It says paper piecing can offer a challenge, and Dan is here for it. For this particular quilt, there was some difficulty in keeping the circular motion going. Over 2,000 Swarovski crystals were used for the quilt top. Quilted by Brian Gray, as shown in the 2022 men's exhibit at the Rocky Mountain Quilt Museum of Golden, Colorado. So, wow, he blinged his out with Swarovski crystals, did he not? The pattern is called Imagine by Jacqueline DeJong of BeColorful.com. Yes, that's one of those New York beauty patterns, isn't it? Beautiful, very striking on that black. And I see a lot of intricate stippling going on in the white areas and custom quilting throughout. Very nice job, Dan. All right, so any of you working on a Jacqueline DeJong New York beauty pattern right now? I would like to know if you are. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. We'll see. I'm sure there will be one in my future eventually. So this Wednesday I have this video to do. We're really getting close to done with this. Can you believe it? Well, it's just a 9-month program, or 7. I don't even remember now. Let's see, where are we? August, September, that's 2 months. October is 3 months. November is 4 months. And then December is 5. So that's the video I'll make, December. And then we have a January, which is the finishing. So 6 months, right? Did I say that right? But anyway, we're going to be putting this on. Now that I've messed up all the pages and I can't find the front sheet anymore. Here it is. I'm going to be doing this. And remember the 4 stars that we had left over from here? Those are going to appear in our corners. So I can't wait to show you how to achieve this here. A big pieced border around our quilt will be what our video is for Wednesday. Please watch those, even if you're not doing this particular block of the month program with me, because I'm always chit-chatting and sharing tips and tricks. So, you know, just because you're not doing it it's still worth a watch, I think. So I would appreciate it anyway. Also, Mark had a video out last week on that All My X's. If you haven't seen his newest video on All My X's, he did not make the entire quilt. He made a couple of the blocks. He made a block, but he made the block in 2 colorways. So you can hear his jibber jabber about that, although he's not a jibber jabbery person like I am. He pretty much gets what he's going to say exactly perfect before he puts it in a video. So this is kind of the difference between me and him, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Tomorrow he's going to have a video out on something like 22 different tips on doing binding. So you're going to want to watch that. It's not that long. I think it's less than 30 minutes. But anything you ever want to know about binding, or everything that he knows about binding, is in that video. So watch that for him, please, if you're so inclined. The format that he did the video in was pretty cool, so you might want to check that out. And then he's going to have another video out pretty soon on all the things you need to be aware of before you send a quilt top to the Longarmer. So we're kind of working with Mary the Longarmer, who is in the description box if you need to send a quilt out to get long-armed. I highly recommend. But she's going to have this video on her website where people fill out forms to send their quilts. And then, of course, we'll be showing the video as well. And so I'll probably have that linked in my description box of all my videos too, because that's something that you might need to be looking for pretty soon. I don't know. Do you have a quilt top ready to be long-armed? You'll need to watch this video. So hang on for that, though. It's not completely edited and out yet, but he does have one tomorrow coming out at 6 a.m. just like my videos do. So if you want something else to look at besides me on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he's going to be out there on Tuesday. So I think that will probably wrap up our video today. I hope that you will get into some sewing this week. It's going to be a little bit more of a peaceful week, I'm assuming, for you. Last week with the holiday and everything, maybe you had a lot going on. Yeah, people in the house and cleaning and cooking and, you know, things like that. It kind of messes with their sewing, doesn't it? Which is not a big deal. We like to have guests and eat and things like that. But yeah, this week should be a little bit more, as we say in Spanish, tranquilo, tranquil, peaceful. And so get some sewing done. The first of the year is upon us. You're going to want to probably go back and watch my shorts series that I had a couple years ago, where we cleaned every day in December. So if you go to my channel, just click on the channel and then click on shorts. All those will come up and you'll have something to do every day of December starting today. So get in there and do those little tasks as well. And then by the time January hits, you are going to be on fire for sewing. You're just going to have everything so ready to go that there's no limits to what you're going to accomplish in 2026. So that's what we want. That's what we want. We want to be able to accomplish things and have fun doing it, most of all. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much for sticking around this long, listening to me jibber jabber. Until Wednesday, have fun in your sewing room, and I will see you then. Bye.